Alright, Tae Guk Ejang. We're going to be doing the first combination from Tae Guk Ejang. It starts out in a walking stance, so it's a pretty upright stance, pretty natural posture. Where the second move that we do in the combination is going to be a front stance. So we're bobbing our head up and down, we're pursuing a little bit more, and we're driving into the deeper stance and covering a lot more ground. Of course, your stance represents everything in between here and all the way to the end point, so you can hit the opponent anywhere in between, so it's nice and flexible for a sparring scenario. So again, that technique number one from Tae Guk Ejang, or combination number one, will be Tae Guk Ejang, will be turned into the side walking stance and a front stance and a middle punch. Alright, if we start with the angles of the form, when we take that 90 degrees, we're basically trying to just not be in the attack line of our opponent. So anywhere in here, he's going to be nice and strong, so I want to get out to the side, subluxate his body, punch across, and throw the punch in a deeper stance at the end. So I can be going here, and then throw the punch. And then step in deep. So that would be the pad combination for number one. When the punch comes out, try to get off to the side. Throw your jab or your post, and then step in deeper for the body punch. And again, if you have something on your side, you're either picking it, grabbing it, pulling it back, so you don't want to leave any reason for the hand to come back without something. So once I go here and throw my jab, if I'm pulling my hand back, I want to be pulling this hand with me, making sure I have an opening so that I can throw my body punch. Alright, that's combination number one on pads. Alright, Tae Guk Ejang, combination number two will be a walking stance interblock. So that combination, basically the idea is to pick with the back hand. We're going to be driving across, chambering and driving across the body, making sure we're covering our center, and then when we move in, same chamber again, we're going to be striking out or pushing out the person back, and then we'll be making sure we cover center again or maintain our forward pressure. Right, technique number two. Tae Guk Ejang, combination number two. Walking stance interblock. And then basically we're going to go from combination 2 to 3. So from here we're going to be jamming the opponent, getting in close, and then taking the hand, controlling it, getting a different angle to attack. This is where we'll do the strike to the side, and then follow it up with the face punch. So it'll start out with interblock 1, 2, get an angle on the opponent, then we're going to post kick, and then punch to the face. Right, a basic mid drill that we're going to do for the combination 2 is going to be a little bit of a combination 2 and 3 because of the nature of the blocks. We want to make sure that we're getting some offensive techniques in there too. So we're picking with our backhand, we're doing our inner block on the backhand. When he punches with the next one, I'm going to be still trying to cross him up where I'm taking this side of his body and twisting it, making it harder to punch on this side. And it's a lot easier to feel if I'm putting pressure here when this next punch is coming. So when the next one comes, I can move out of the way, get a different angle, control this, do my strike, and then hold this down for my punch to the face. And then I can strike here. So one more time, I'm going to be picking with the backhand, stepping on in to kind of jam this timeline. Get here, hit the angle to strike, and I'm going to kick and throw my punch. Alright, in between all of these inner blocks is that opposite hand doing a post or a punch. So when that punch comes in, I can also be moving my head out of the way at the same time that I throw this jab, so I'm getting my head offline, and then I'm throwing this inner block, same thing again, the hand's up, I can chamber here before I block, and then when that hand comes in, I'm stepping out to the side. This is where I can get my angle to come back in for my front kick, pull in here, and then I have a punch to the head as well. So you can add that post for either a jab or a posting position for you to move on in with. So as soon as I get some type of response, I can get to here, get him to respond again, and then just come in and press on that arm if I would like. Then come in, get that angle, and throw your punch. So the idea of being half facing, if I'm halfway facing forward and he's halfway to the side, it's pretty easy for me to get off at about a 45 and then I'm right to the side with my techniques. So it doesn't have to be a big, jumping out to the side and getting out of range. I just want a small movement where I get off this line of attack, and then I can be right back in where I can either kick or throw my punches. So not big movements, but just get off the line of attack, get out to the side of them, and get to where you can put your weapons on them and they can't see you very well with theirs. Tae Guk E-Jang, combo 4. So we're going to be stepping out with the upper block 1, 2, and then immediately turning into the inner blocks for combination 5. So one more time on 4, we're going to be stepping in upper block 1, 2, and then we would be spinning all the way around for inner block 1 and 2. And turn to the other side. So if I did on 2 upper blocks, I would be turning in 1 and 2. Alright, for our combination for our upper block, it's going to be stepping in and jamming an upper, jamming a strike again. We're going to be grabbing the arm and hammer fisting or posting. Same thing on the other side, get out to it, grab, and strike along the side of the collarbone. Alright, so for sparring applications, it would be block, get inside, block, get inside, and I can do either hammer fist or a ridge hand on this side. Same thing, grab the arm, hammer fist or ridge hand on this side. Alright? Next combination, we did a little bit better on getting our getting ourselves off the line of the attack. So when he comes in with that punch, I'm just stepping off to the side, trying to get behind the elbow so that I can maintain control of the arm. If he somehow gets it down, throws the other one, I'm going to try to jam him up again, pull this arm, control it, and I can strike with the side of my forearm. The other hand starts coming in, jam it, press against the body, and then strike again. So one more time. And then get out to the side, try to push or jam. Same thing on the other side. Control, strike, and then get over the top, control, and strike again. Right? So that's some combinations that you can use on the outside of the arm as well. Alright, our last combination is going to be the kick punch. So we just did the block, we're going to post, kick, punch, kick, punch, kick, punch. So the idea with our front kicks is it's not necessarily just a front kick. We're also pursuing with our hands. We're doing some combinations to make sure that we're changing heights on them. We're punching or kicking either low and then punching high, or punching high and kicking low. Of course, all these are done to the center, so you can easily change the height up or low, up or down. And even the angle of the kick, if I kick this way, it's a front kick. If I turn my knee just slightly, it looks more like a round kick. But basically, you can take those kicks and use them at any angle. So make it look like a front kick, of course, at the beginning, but at the end, you can always change it into a different type of attack as far as the kicks go. And remember, if you extend your foot out, you're always pulling your foot back at the same time, so they can be really useful for reaps, trips, and attacking the legs with the stances as well. Alright, in this combination, we're obviously pursuing, making sure that we're keeping the enemy off balance and not getting set so that they can be attacked. Sometimes, once you get the person where they're resetting or they're not sure what techniques you're going to throw, you can get a little bit of an advantage and just keep pressing where you're throwing anything you can to keep them busy and keep them from getting set. Especially people who really like to counter, it's a good idea to keep them busy the whole time, never let them get set, and never let them get ready to attack again or get their balance back. So when we're attacking, we're going to get advantage and just keep pursuing all the way until we can make sure that they're no longer a threat, or we can make sure that we're pursuing in an intelligent fashion. I'm not just punching the same spot all the time. I'm going to kick a little bit low, I'm going to punch a little bit high, and changing those the attack places a lot, where he's constantly raising and lowering his hands. I'm going to be changing angles to where it's not just up and down, but side to side as well. Just like when we're trying to do our defense, we want to make sure that the opponent is doing the same thing to keep himself from getting hit, because I want to make sure that as soon as I get over the top, I'm going to kick, punch, and try to vary those angles and as far as height and side to side. So that's the idea with the last combination.